Product images is a valuable asset for your product as it encourages shoppers to click on your listing and to move forward with making a purchase. Now, when you have digital products, this can be a bit tricky to accomplish because it's not as simple as taking a snapshot of your product, primarily because it's not physical in nature. So in this video, I'll be showing you how to make images for your product listings. And then these images that we're building today, you will use as graphics to showcase what your planners look like. Hey, it's Frankie with Hello Frankie & Co., where I teach you how to leverage the power of Canva to build beautiful and functional planners that you can sell without having to start from scratch. Now, if you see value in this video today, make sure to give it a thumbs up. This makes a world of difference in the content that I create for you. And also, as a friendly reminder, any links that I mention in today's video can be found in the description below. Okay, let's jump into it. Now, before I get started with the tutorial, just know it's especially important to understand that product images are essential to encourage a purchase, whether you have a digital or physical product. All right, so one of the primary functions of images is to show shoppers what they're buying. And this is especially important because you are on an online space and shoppers have the inability to test out the product before they buy. Whereas when they're in like a physical location, they're able to try on the product, they're able to touch and visually see what they are purchasing. Online space works a little bit different. So your images are much more important and hold more weight and value than just being in a physical space, just because customers aren't able to like physically touch and feel the product. Okay, so all of the images today that we are going to be creating, you can use either on your website, or if you are in a marketplace like Etsy, these images are perfect for anywhere that you're going to list your planners. Also, at the end of this video, I'll be sharing how you can also convert these images into promo graphics. So this is great for like sharing on socials or like Pinterest in order to market to bring more traffic and sales to your product listings. Okay, so the first step is that you will need Canva. You can either sign up, if you haven't done so already, for the free version of Canva, or you can try out the pro version. Now, if you are going to be building planners quite often, I would recommend that you do upgrade to Canva Pro. Canva Pro has a 30-day free trial, so you can try it out to see how well you like it. My recommendation is that Canva Pro is the way to go if you are, seriously creating planners and building your business. It's the way to go, just because it not only has more features, but it just creates a ton of efficiency. If this is going to be more of a hobby, or if you're creating planners just for yourself, then you can definitely stick with the free version. But in today's tutorial, we are going to be using the free version for just so you can see how things work. And then as we go along in the tutorial, you will see there are lots of prompts throughout Canva to try out the Canva Pro, and you will see these little golden crowns. This just signifies that this is more of a pro version feature. And even if you can still click on it, but when you do click on it, it will like prompt you to try out Canva Pro. But again, today we're going to use the free version. And if you decide you want to like convert over, I would highly suggest it, just because it's just more efficient when building your planners. All right, so now that you've signed up, we're going to create a design. I am going to be creating a listing for like an Etsy shop, and we're going to just use a custom size. So this would be 3000 by 3000 pixels. And then we're going to hit create new design. Okay, so now that we're in our canvas area, this is where I like to start with changing the color of my background. So I'm just going to click on the canvas, and then you'll see the color block pop up. Just as a personal preference, I either like to use an all white background or something a little bit neutral. So maybe like an off-white or a soft pink, just because I don't want any like darker colors, I find tend to take away from the actual product itself. And that's one thing that you never want, is for everything else on your graphics. And this applies to physical products as well. You don't want all of the other props to like overshadow your actual product. So I like to use something that's very, very neutral at hand. So I'm going to click on here, and then you can use the color wheel. In my own Canva, I already have like hex codes. So I usually enter it here. And let's see. So I'm going to use a very neutral color, and I believe I have a hex code I can use today. This one works fine for me. All right. So again, the beautiful thing about creating is that you can, choose what you like and customize to your liking and what fits around your brand. And I just, again, you don't have to use a neutral color. You don't have to use white, but I just like something that's a little bit lighter so that my product can stand out more. Okay. So I am going to start with branding this image. When you're on an online space, especially a marketplace like Etsy, it's great because you do get a lot of traffic, but you also have a lot of competition. So you want to make sure that your images are standing out as much as possible and look different from the rest. They don't just kind of blend in with everything. Also, I like to brand my images, especially on a marketplace, because there are a lot of competition, and then people, especially when they're browsing, they may forget to like favorite that image or listing, and so you want to just kind of stand out as much as possible. Okay, so here I'm just going to change this, and I'm going to use, let's see, I think I have a hex code for that as well. Now if you don't have having a hex code is not necessary. So if you don't have that, that's okay. You can definitely you can use the color wheel as well, and or you can like find hex codes elsewhere. But the color wheel, when I first started out, was like golden for me because I didn't really know like what colors I wanted to use. So I just kind of played around until I found something. All right, so this is pretty much in alignment with my brand, so we'll use that. Okay, so I do want to add my branding, so I'm going to put Hello Frankie. Oh, and let's see. I'm going to make this, see, I'm going to play around with this. And I'm going to change the font as well. Okay, Canva has tons of free fonts. These are just ones that I've recently used, so it's kind of in there already. But you're more than welcome to use any type of font. I always recommend that you use something that resembles your style and your brand look. Okay, so that looks perfect to me. Now, let's see. I'm going to add some more text. And you guys, for today, I am literally creating this from scratch. I personally do not like to create much of anything from scratch over and over again. So you will find that once you get a groove going with Canva, you will be like duplicating quite a bit of like your graphics and like your fonts, just because it's just super easy. You don't have to like start from scratch. Okay. Let's see. So the more you get comfortable and the more like groove you get, you will find that it's just so much easier to not have to start from scratch. Now, although I start from scratch quite often because I create the templates for you guys, which you can find the link to as well. The templates that I create just it saves you so much time. So I also implement templates in my own business for myself so that I'm not starting from scratch as well. And I will grab and copy and paste a lot of what I've already created. I don't reinvent the wheel over and over again. That just is not, no one has time for that. It's just not enough time in the day for that. Okay. So I pretty much have like what I want on my first graphic. And this is just kind of like the name of my planner here. And I usually will put like a subtitle, or just kind of gives a brief description here, but you get the gist of it. Now we're going to actually insert our images onto this graphic. So I've already preloaded my PNG images, and I've like uploaded, so I've downloaded them as PNGs, or you can do JPEG as well and then upload it into Canva. So they're already preloaded, and let's just grab one of them. So this is like the cover of one of my planner templates. It's the Essentials Planner. And when you click off the image, you can see it's really flat. There's no depth, it just really no character to it. It looks really plain and just doesn't feel right to me. So what I like to do is add like a background shadow, and this shadow makes the planner appear to be like lifted off of the page. So it gives it more dimension, and in my opinion, it looks a little bit more realistic. So what we're going to do is I like to go ahead and resize my image, and you can also kind of like position it if you like. All of these things can be done afterwards, but that's just how I work. And then once you click on the image, you're going to click edit, and you're going to choose shadows. Now, if you haven't used shadows before, sometimes, especially if it's your first time, you'll have to search for it. But as you can see, this is one of the apps that I've already used, or features that I've used quite often. So we're going to click on the shadow, and we're going to use the drop shadow. All right. And so now it's going to start populating and doing its own thing. And then you can leave as is, or you can change some of the settings. So we're going to change some of the settings because right now this backdrop is very dark and very harsh as far as like the corners. So I want it to be a little bit more blurred, more softer. So I'm going to change the settings. And these are settings that I use like typically. So I already know like what settings to use. However, you can definitely play around with the settings for your preference as well. Okay. Once you've done that, you can just hit apply. And again, it's going to kind of like readjust to the settings that you've created. Right. And then once it's done that, then you can click off the image, or, to the side, and you can see there you go. You have your backdrop. It looks so much better compared to like just the flat image. And I'll pull another image so you can see what that looks like. See, let me try this one. I like this one better. Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm going to resize this a little bit. And just clicking off the image, you can see how flat it is. It blends very well into the background. I don't like it. So again, you can see pretty much the biggest difference of what it looks like when you add the backdrop. It really just adds more character to your listing, or to the image itself. Okay. And again, these are my settings that I typically use. Sometimes I may adjust depending on how I feel, but for the most part, you're more than welcome to use those settings or play around with what works for you. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and size this down just a little bit. And then I'm also going to push this to the back because I do want my cover image to kind of be the star of the show. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to just grab these and center them. Okay, perfect. So that literally took us under 5 minutes to create. Of course, if you're adding more pages or doing a little bit more resizing, this part may take you a little bit longer because you may want to add some extra blurb here, but this is literally like a 5-minute deal. It's very simple. I like my listings as, that they stand out but simple, just because I don't like a lot of clutter and I don't want to distract shoppers. I want them to be able to clearly see what I'm selling, what I'm offering, see what the pages look like, and like it helps them to make the buying process a little bit simpler. Okay, so I'm going to make a few more, and we're going to kind of zoom through a couple of these images, but you can like hang tight, see how I go through the entire process. So as you can see, I literally created these additional 3 images, and even though I sped through the video, it took me less than about five, maybe 5-10 minutes. I wouldn't even say 10 minutes to create graphics. Pretty much my method is once I create the first one, I just click the duplicate and then I remove what images I don't need and kind of just move over the text. But the core of my images are the background is still the same. I still have my branding, but I'm going to either keep the same images or kind of replace them and move them around. You can duplicate. I like this method. And let me just show you real quick. This is also like one of my favorite ways. So of course you'll be using different images, but I like to like one of these I always like to create. And this just shows more of the planner pages so customers can kind of see more of what you have. Now, one of the things that I would recommend when you are creating these is that you don't have to show and don't feel obligated to show all of your planner pages. You want to leave some type of room for customers to know, so they like leave some type of mystery as to like what's inside the planner. But I do like to give a lot of value. So I wouldn't not show, images of what's inside your planner. I see a lot of planners that do that quite often where you only see like 1 or 2 pages. I'm not a fan of that method just because I still want customers to see what is inside the planner, but you just don't want to give out everything just so they have like something to look forward to. Okay, so this is like another quick way where you can like add several images on one graphic, and you don't necessarily need a title for that. But I do this sometimes in some of my listings. So I'm gonna go back to here. Okay. All right, so these are the 4 graphics that are created. Now, another cool thing that I like about this graphic is this is a frame. So basically you can use like an iPad, which I like to use because it fits the entire sheet. And or I guess this is a tablet, and you drop the image in. And you can also use a circle element, which is something I use quite often. And that you can use as a way to show how many pages that you're getting. So what I like to do is just resize it, and then let's see, we're gonna move it here like so. Okay, and then I'm gonna change the color. I like to make my circle a little bit brighter so that it can stand out. And then let's just say we're gonna put 35. Let's say 35 pages because a lot of my planners aren't like even numbers. We're going to do 35 pages, and we're going to make this bold, and I like my text to be white. Okay, and then you can kind of increase it so people, see what your how many pages there are and that it stands out. You can also add like, if you are creating templates, or if you can put a blurb like works well with Canva, or works well with like your iPad, your tablet, anything that you would like your customers to kind of gravitate towards, you can do that. All right. So that's another cool feature that you can do. Maybe this is a bonus. So you can put like this a bonus sheets just so this kind of stands out. And these type of pages I like to put like at the very beginning. Unless it's like bonuses, then I'll put at the end of my listing. So as you can see, this is very, very simple to create. And now you know how to create mock-up pages for your product listings from like totally scratch. Now, if you aren't interested in creating from scratch, I do have product listing templates that you literally can just drag and drop your images to and change like the font and what the text looks like and color. You don't have to start from scratch, but I wanted to show you, especially for those that are more of like do it yourselfers, how you can like easily create this in under 30 minutes. All right. So as I promised here, I wanted to show you how to convert these into promo graphics, because you literally can just remove maybe titles, leave the images, or move things around to suit whatever like platform that you are promoting your graphics on. So what you would simply do is you would click on resize, and then you would choose either like a custom size, or you would choose from the list. So typically I like to convert my images over to like a Pinterest image, or maybe like an Instagram story, just because it's super super easy. So I can just choose Pinterest pin. Now this is a Canva Pro option, so hence the golden crown. But I highly recommend to try this feature out, just because it's super easy. Once you've created, you don't have to recreate a pin to go along with it. You can convert this very graphic into a Pinterest pin and share it automatically to Pinterest. Super, super easy. Okay. Now, if you are looking for a fast track process of creating planners, then don't forget to grab my free starter planner templates. These templates are like a mini version of my essentials planner. It's about 14 pages, and it comes with like a library of Canva training. So you get bite-sized videos of how to actually edit your templates step by step, and you can go at your own pace and pick and choose which videos that you want to watch. This is essential, especially for those that are new to Canva, or you aren't 100% comfortable with Canva. This is a great way to like get your feet wet, especially with working with templates. I guarantee you I'm saving you like a ton of time without having to start from scratch. All right, and there's a link below to download those templates in the description, so grab your copy, and I will see you in the next video.